You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 89. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnett, a private eye who tangles with greed, with corruption, and sudden death on a daily basis.
Man,
Yeah,
you think you know a guy.
Right.
Comic Reflections is a proud member of the Rhymes with Geek podcast network. You can check out our show, plus other cool podcasts like Super Podcasto Magnifico, Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and loads of others, and lots of cool reviews and articles and stuff at rhymeswithgeek.com. So the first comic book we want to talk about today is Crime Does Not Pay, number 99. Now, back in the Golden Age, and this is the early 50s, immediately following the World Wars, superhero comics faded, and crime and horror and other stuff kind of took their place as the trends in the medium. And Crime Does Not Pay was a million seller every month. 1 million copies.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, at its peak.
Right. That's, does anything sell for 1 million copies now? I don't think
No.
so. I think Time Magazine, maybe, or something.
No, I mean...
I'm talking about as a period.
Here's something that will show you that just the huge difference between comics then and comic books now. Throughout, say, the Gold and Silver Age, or whatever, less than 20,000 copies sold. Those are cancellation numbers.
Mm-hmm.
In today's comic book marketplace, 20,000 is the biggest runaway hit, possible.
Good God.
I mean, many comic books, have a fraction of that as their press run, so.
Man, that's only a couple hundred people in each state buy. And this is, wow.
And the thing is, maybe probably not like the Golden Age, but nowadays the number of titles that come out every week is probably equal to the number of titles that would come out in a month in, say, the 60s or the 70s. So every week, the number of issues that come out, is equal to that. It's probably about 4 times, roughly, the Silver and Bronze Age kind of number of books that would...
Interesting.
Yeah. And I don't mean press run, so I just mean number of different series.
Right.
So it's more of a niche and more oversaturated as far as content. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think DC loses money, but probably Marvel does too, but they're making up in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, really, the comic books, I mean, they sell and they make money, but in the 90s, Marvel, almost closed the doors. They, were bankrupt. Even the biggest publishers, I think it's, yes, they're getting to do these things, but it's because Marvel and DC continue to exist because they're owned by a larger corporate entity now.
Yeah.
And it's sure you get to be creative and put these books out and keep things in the copyright, but yeah, it's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that everyone was really into crime and all that. And the 50s, what we think of the 50s, was kind of crime-free, comparatively speaking to now.
Sure.
Crime has gone down the last 10, 20 years, but
Yeah.
in the 70s it was horrific. And
Right.
there's all this talk about crime, and there is no.
Right. Well, we're reading, we're going to look at a 50s crime comic right now, but these are, Crime Does Not Pay was often true crime stories, but these are, coming crimes from the 20s, 30s, and early 40s, Depression.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, crime really didn't go up in the Depression, oddly enough.
Weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of Prohibition era stories in these kinds of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I know there are. But anyway, why don't we get moving on this story? The lead story in this book is Crime Does Not Pay, number 99, from Lev Gleason Publications. And the lead story is The Case of the Death's Head Ruby, written by Walter Gibson, who wrote many of the Shadow novels. Many of them. And with art by Bob Fujitani, who he created, I think he either created or just worked on The Hangman for MLJ, who MLJ became Archie. And he had a pretty steady career in comics into the Silver Age, at least. He worked some on Dr. Solar also.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, several people did. So, but yeah, so that's that. So what's going on in this story?
Oh, okay, man. Supposedly it's a true story, but I have my doubts.
Right.
Okay.
There might be a germ of truth to it.
Yeah, there may be a Death's Head Ruby, or there may have been a Dane or something.
Right. I think probably the Death's Head Ruby is probably no, that is a fictional MacGuffin.
Maybe, yeah. There was a Maltese Falcon type thing.
Sure.
It wasn't a Maltese, but it's. Okay, let's start this thriller with death breathing down my neck.
Yeah.
Mr. Jenkins needs Chip. What a. I just don't consider that a tough name.
My name's Chip. Yeah. No, it sounds like rich guy's spoiled son.
Right.
Chip. So
he needs a bodyguard, and he's trying to buy this Death's Head Ruby. So he goes to a nice restaurant to bargain, which is utterly ridiculous.
Sure.
And
yeah, it's very conspicuous. It's not secluded at all.
Right. She brings it out, and of course, some scumbag sees it. And he goes to this place because there's no doubtful characters. And doubtful characters mentioned twice. So
well, they want to firmly establish that. Okay.
Okay. So she's going to come back. She's going to have the money. She's going to have the ring. He's going to have the money. A bank truck is going to. Armored car is going to bring the cash in. So these crooks are going to get rid of Chip and then steal both the money and the ring.
Oh man.
So they knock over Chip, and then he's knocked with a car. He's knocked out, so they put him in the caddy, and they go in and they pretend like to be painters. They take the money, and the guy locks them up in the storage room with bars on there. He says, we'll just call the police, wait for them, and they'll pick them up. They throw the safe out into the back of a truck and make their escape.
Very clever.
Yeah, actually,
they really plotted it out. Somebody knew the floor plan of that building, and they had that. That's a good setup. Very cool.
All right, Chip wakes up, figures out what's going on. He comes back, and the safe is gone. So he noticed the truck barreling out of there. So he looks for the truck. The truck goes to a
building that's being constructed, a skyscraper.
A skyscraper being constructed. Construction site. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And it's all clever until, hey, let's go up into the top of the skyscraper. Like, if they get caught, there's no way down.
Right?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Yeah. It's not smart. They're thinking, nobody's going to be there. Yeah. We're in the middle of the city and no one's going to be there. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, your risk of death
that's true.
is really intense.
Yeah,
and if anyone's, they must have thought no one was tailing us, But Chip, who is it, like a cop or a private eye or something?
No, he's a private eye.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's the private eye who's the sex machine to all the chicks.
Shut your mouth. If they had stayed on the ground floor, it'd have been fine. There'd been no trouble. But it's not as dramatic. So Chip follows him upstairs, and they're opening the safe, and he walks across the plank, draws his gun, and the guy, one of the crooks, sneaks behind him and takes the plank away, so he's stuck there.
Yeah, on like an I-beam.
So, okay.
And there's stories and stories above, the street, and he's got in a gunfight with one of the crooks walking on steel girders. I'm like, no, I would not want to be there.
Right, I'm sure it's happened, but he only shoots once and he's out of bullets. I'm not sure what's up with that. I guess he shoots off screen, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the head of the bad guys comes with him. He's going to shoot him, and then he gets shot by the policeman. And
He falls to his death, right?
he falls. Well, he's either dead or falls. He's dead sometime, somewhere from the 30th floor to the ground.
Okay.
So the lovely lady who's selling the ring
Mhm.
takes him out on a date. Oh, no, excuse me. The bad guy sent another guy out to the Dane with the ring because she never showed up
Right.
in time. So he pretends to be Chip's buddy, and then she calls. She's trying to call on Chip, and he rips off the cord.
The bad guy does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's holding her hostage, and Chip knocks on the door. The dame opens the door a little bit and winks at him and said, "Get us a couple drinks." So that tells Chip what's going on. So Chip comes in dressed like a waiter with a couple highballs and beats the crap out of the bad guy.
Yeah.
So then she goes out with Chip, and then his secretary gets jealous. The end.
Yeah. So the money from the robbery was recovered, as was the ring.
There's a lot. They talk about how much money he made, which is kind of interesting. Usually they don't ever talk about how much. They go into detail how much money he got as a reward, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he tipped the cabbie $100, which is fantastic back then.
Yeah, that's like giving somebody $1,000 tip today.
Yeah, if
So-
not more.
Sure.
Okay.
So
Kind of convoluted and stupid. But,
yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of detail and stuff in these kind of crime comics. They don't make for great show when we do these. Because we talked about in the past, we talked about a couple issues of Justice Traps the Guilty, which is another cool crime comic series from the period. But I think these are important, and I think they're enjoyable to read.
Right. Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know. It's well drawn, I suppose. They draw the women well, so that's cool.
Yeah,
And the people look good.
yeah.
Very, above average, I think.
Yeah. So the next story is called The Man Who Died Twice. And there's no credit on the writing. Now, I took one look at this before I looked up the credits online on comics.org. I took one look at this splash panel. I said, "Oh, I know who that is. That's Pete Morisi art."
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't it look like it? The guy who did Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt.
Yeah. A little bit better than Peter Cannon, I think.
Right. The only thing is, it's not Pete Morisi, it's George Tuska. Funny thing. Pete Morisi and George Tuska, they're both comics artists in the Golden Age onward. George Tuska, I've read a lot of his stuff from Marvel in the 70s, and his style definitely changed drastically. But at the time, Tuska had been in the industry a bit longer, and Morisi they shared a studio. And Morisi was really enamored with Tuska's art and says, "Do you mind if I emulate your style?" Tuska's like, "Go knock yourself out. Go for it." And so Morisi basically patterned his style after George Tuska's Golden Age work. And then as Tuska's style changed, Morisi's style became more distinct because he was doing the old Tuska style.
Huh.
In fact, when John Severin was also working at Charlton Comics, same time that Morisi did, one time Morisi's wife brings in an art job to Derby, to Connecticut, some finished pages. John Severin takes a look at it and says, "Oh, hello, Mrs. Tuska, nice to meet you," because one look at that art, he thought it was George Tuska.
Oh. Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, just fun little stuff. So,
Now, this is really well drawn.
yeah, this is Tuska at the top of his game.
All right, The Man Who Died. Oh, it's a true crime story? I don't know.
We don't know.
The thing is, some crimes you would read about and they're just, for real, they're just so amazing. You would think that it's so convoluted and stupid. It can't be true, but it is. So.
All right, and this may have been, they may have taken a real case, changed the names, and puffed it up a little bit to make it more exciting. That might be what's happening here.
Yeah.
But let's dig into this. This was good.
Okay, let's see. Eddie gets out of prison and meets Fat Simon, and he tells him to keep on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, Fat Simon's his parole officer.
Mhm. So Eddie goes and meet his identical brother Ernie,
Yeah, and Ernie is quite a success. He's a self-made man.
and he's on the level. Although
Yes.
he hires some hoods to beat the crap out of Eddie.
Right,
Well, who can blame him?
right.
Eddie, Ernie gives him the good guy, puts up bail. Eddie runs off. He steals Ernie's girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she divorces him. Divorces Eddie
Mm-hmm.
after she finds out he's such a bum.
Yeah. Now, when Ernie had been on the straight and narrow and worked hard for, and made his way, and Eddie was, try to get the easy way out his whole life. So they were very different.
Mm-hmm.
So Ernie had every right to kind of resent his ne'er-do-well brother.
Right.
So
Hey, try to help. What can you
Yeah.
do? All right. So Eddie, the bad one, has this great idea. He'll kill his brother and take over.
and take his place, yeah. And no one will be the wiser. And it works pretty good, except the butler realizes this guy is acting differently than the guy that I normally work for. And the cops start to get wise. There's something is up.
Well, Eddie's gone.
Right.
So where's Eddie? So,
Don't the cops find a body or something, right?
well, they start looking and they find the body. Well,
Right.
no, they don't find the body.
Right. So, but the cops accuse him of his own murder because they think Ernie, the good brother, did the murdering,
Right.
which is to talk about irony.
Yeah. Yeah, but he gets his old girl back.
Yeah.
And then he's doing okay. No.
But then the heat is on. The cops have got him cornered.
Right, and he drinks poison.
Yeah. Man, back when people just kept poison in their medicine chest.
Yeah, the good old days.
Right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool story. I like that.
Hmm.
So I've got...
Reprieve granted. Prisoner is dead.
That's right. Charles Bureau wrote this story. And
Before that, we have a great ad.
Oh, okay.
Skinny girls are not glamour girls. How to add glamorous curves to your figure.
It's
Also-
just called Get Older.
Yeah. And skinny men are not attractive either. I wouldn't be seen with that scarecrow. Oh man.
Yeah.
So you got this beautiful babe in a bikini, and all these guys are disembodied heads are staring at her.
Right.
It's a little symbol of a little picture of a really skinny girl that they're ignoring. And,
Right.
oh, it's medically checked and approved. But then,
What is it that they're selling?
I think it's something that just makes you fat. I don't know.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But it's called Numal.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I should look it up. But yeah, Reprieve Granted, Prisoner is Dead was written by Charles Bureau, who created Airboy over at Hillman Periodicals. And he created Steel Sterling for MLJ, which became Archie.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a lot of work on the Golden Age Daredevil, also for Lev Gleason. Have you ever read the Golden Age Daredevil?
I may have.
He has he has this all black and red costume that covers his whole body, and this spiked belt, and he throws a boomerang, and he's cool. I don't even know the origin of this hero, but the Golden Age Daredevil is very cool.
I have not. Then that does not sound familiar.
Yeah.
I just knew that he was.
His costume looked kind of like Peter Cannon Thunderbolts,
Mhm.
only he had full pants and a mask that covered his whole head.
Except for Superman's, I don't like most Golden Age outfits.
A lot of them are kind of bad, but some work. I like some of Jack Kirby's cool. I mean, Captain America's costume.
Yeah. Although his cowl is what is cowl? I guess.
Yeah.
Because his head's kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
He's got those wings on.
Yeah. I like the design of the costume, but I actually don't like looking at Golden Age Captain America.
Mhm.
I like him Silver Age on.
Yeah.
He's just kind of weird looking. But Kirby's costume design, or his redesign for the Sandman, and his design for the Guardian, in the Newsboy Legion, Those are cool costumes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's some cool ones. They're fairly generic, but I don't know. There's some fun ones. Batman's costume is good too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Batman.
Yeah.
But like Golden
Yes,
Age Flash and Green Lantern's costumes are pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, Captain Marvel's costume is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually just Superman's with a little bit more pizzazz, I think.
Yeah. A lot more pizzazz. He's got the off-the-shoulder cape. He's
Mhm.
got the sash, the big lightning bolt.
Mhm.
There's some cool stuff going on with his costume. So anyway, let's talk about this story. And who did? Oh, and Dick Rockwell did the art on this. Now, Dick Rockwell was the assistant to Milton Caniff on the Steve Canyon comic strip for 35 years. He worked on that strip. So, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we start up with the poker game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, this was a cool story.
Actually, it's not bad. Wally is losing about 30 grand. So he says, well, can you, all I have is, I can't pay you, right? He is in debt for 30 grand because he just lost it. So he says, well, I can put up that building. What is it? The merry-go-round.
Yeah, that's his club. He offers to make a guy partner, you know.
Yeah. And Lucky, the villain of the story, he says, all right, I'll take that and give you 20 grand. You can try to win your money back. So they start playing again, and they notice that he's got a ring on that he can look at what he's dealing.
Right.
So, and then they kill. Let's see. So he says, okay, I'll. He had him sign this document, give him the merry-go-round away. Then he says, oh, I'll burn it, and then we're square.
Yeah.
He burned something else.
Like a receipt and kept that note. So that note, I don't know how that note could be legally binding, but it is. And so...
Maybe back then. He has witnesses.
Right. So anyway, Lucky thinks he's going to go take control of the club, and he does away with the guy who actually owns it, Wally. And they said, look, I got this note. It's signed over to me.
Mm-hmm.
So... Then he's awesome, and then one of his guys starts going behind his back. One of his.
Well, the DA thinks he's guilty.
Right. Correct.
But but Lucky's got a permit to wear a gun, but he uses a different gun for Wally.
Right.
And so he's carrying around his own gun. It doesn't match. They have no proof.
So it doesn't stick.
Yeah. So the DA, and this has happened about 4 or 5 times. So Lucky is really. Laughing at the DA once he leaves, and it's pretty cool. It's a nice DA and the conflict between DA and Lucky is pretty cool.
Yeah,
the DA is ticked off.
Yeah, this is a good read.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like. These are really good reading.
Yeah, but lots and lots of words in these.
Yeah, no, you definitely get your money's worth. They're very wordy. But it's quality dialogue.
Not Sandman wordy, but getting there.
Well, right. But the thing is, the dialogue rings true to how people would talk, and it explains the situation really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think there's genuine tension and stuff.
Okay. So Delaney, one of Lucky's minions, he goes out to Florida. Then he comes back in the middle of his vacation. And talks to the guy doing Lucky's books, and found out that Delaney's been taking money, so from Lucky.
Right.
So,
now Delaney wants the bookkeeper to keep cooking the books or whatever, cover for him, and he's like, no way. So he blows away the bookkeeper
with Lucky's gun.
Right. So he thinks he's going to set up Lucky for a murder, and then take over the business and get away with having taken the money.
Okay. So Lucky comes back. His accountant's dead. He sees a gun there, so he throws the gun into the water, and he gets accused of the murder.
Right.
And Lucky has no alibi. There's a gun. That's his gun.
Yeah.
He has reason.
He totally gets convicted for the murder, and as bad a guy as he is, he's innocent of this.
Right.
He killed that other guy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Delaney, and other people too.
Sure.
So they Delaney's alibi sticks. They call the hotel clerk and say, "Yeah, he's been here." Then another hotel clerk says, "Wait a minute, he was gone for a week, or you left for a day to go back to where this is taking place."
Right.
So he calls the police, and the DA says, "Oh my God, he's innocent."
Yeah. So I got to call the governor, and they don't make it in time. Lucky is hanged.
Yep.
But they do arrest Delaney, right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna get it. So he's going to jail too.
All right, and we're getting executed.
Yeah.
But well.
But yeah, cool story.
I got a hunch Lady Justice was peeping from beneath her blindfold this time.
So the last story for this book, this one was fun because it at the end, spoilers, it gives you like can you figure out what happened, and then they give you this whole setup.
Did you ever see the show Ellery Queen?
No, but you've mentioned it enough. I kind of know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Did you figure it out?
Yeah, he breaks the fourth wall. And, he's giving you all the reasons what could happen. And what about this guy? And how could he have done this?
Right.
And then he turns to the camera and says, "Can you figure it out?" And I've watched it
and then they come back from the commercial break and then tell you, right?
Yeah. And then you can figure it out. I could not. Did you figure this out?
No. I actually got lost in the story.
I did too. I think they cheated. I don't know. I don't know.
It's still pretty good. No credit on the writing. Too bad because it's pretty neat. But the artist... Fred Gardenier. And then he was pretty prolific in the Golden Age.
Yeah.
And
I love his signature. It's great.
Oh, yeah. Fred Gardenier created Zatara, the Magician, which was debuted in Action Comics #1 alongside Superman. So, I mean, Zatara is kind of totally a ripoff of Mandrake, the Magician. But... the legacy of Zatara is we get Zatanna, who is my favorite superheroine ever. So
who's mine? I don't know. Okay.
So
Power Girl, apparently.
Power Girl, she's great. This story is called The Green Goods Murder.
Okay. Yeah, there's a I never heard of this Green Goods scam. All right.
It's a counterfeiting scam.
Right.
But you think you offered a counterfeit for somebody else.
Right. So you give these people, here are some of our counterfeit bills, and they are actual really dollar bills, or 50s or whatever. So they think, wow, this is really good counterfeit.
Yeah.
Because it's so good, it's not really a counterfeit. Because it's
you give a little bit of money, and they say, all right, you give us some dough, and we'll make you more counterfeit stuff. And so they just take the money and give them the old switcheroo. And then who's going to bust them? Because the other guy was complicit in this counterfeit scheme.
He was trying to... he gave me counterfeit bills.
Right. It's a pretty clever scheme if you've got enough money to, put up front. But yeah. Okay. That seems like a dangerous game to play. Man.
Yeah, because you're dealing with criminals.
Yeah.
So it's like The Sting, which is a great movie.
Oh, yes, it is. I love The Sting.
Okay, what we have? So Dutch Treat, which is a great name for it's kind of a gangster, but not.
Yeah.
All right, he is the victim of the Green Goods, but everyone figures out that he's smarter than that, but they still go with it. So he goes to this park, and this cast of characters come by, and I'm not going to go through it all.
Okay.
Because it's kind of complicated.
Sure.
But the police know about it, so the whole place is surrounded. So you have one of those houses in Miss Marple or whatever.
Yeah.
The guilty one's there. And we know somebody's guilty in this group. It's not somebody you never seen before. So you gotta choose. And those are pretty cool. I usually don't get them. But I usually don't figure it out.
Right. But that's still pretty fun.
Really cool scene of Dutch Treat getting killed.
Yeah.
So
like on a bridge in the woods. Right. Like in a park or something.
And so they gather up all these suspects and they try to figure out who done it. Steve Marsh, Sneaker Clem. What a great name.
Yeah.
Andy Wilton, Pat Revere, who was swimming underneath the bridge where he died.
Right. She was there to signal somebody or something as part of the scheme. But
Dave Munson.
Yeah. And then we get the turn the page upside down, and then you get the last 2 panels that reveal who the killer was.
Yeah, and it gave some clues, but I didn't really catch them, and I don't know.
It's kind of like some of those Silver Age Superman stories where there's like a weird thing going on and you don't find out till the end, and there were clues throughout the story, but you didn't really see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a I don't know.
I don't study every detail of every panel.
But if I was 11 years old, I would be.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You know, because I can only buy one comic book. There's really nothing on TV now because it's only 3 channels. You know, I can't afford to go to a movie. I want to read this comic book over and over and over again.
Well, yeah, and the beauty of it is it's this hold still and you can just pour over this thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like a comic book, you know?
Mm-hmm. And occasionally...
It's still cinema. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's beautiful.
It's cinematic.
Yeah.
It talks to the eyes and it sears itself sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, talking about Siri. Doom in the Desert.
Yeah.
Rawhide Kid.
Oh, hang on, yeah. We've got the Mighty Marvel Western, number 6. And yes, the lead story is the Rawhide Kid in Doom in the Desert. This is reprinted from Rawhide Kid number 28. Stan Lee wrote it. And pencils are by Jack Kirby. Inks are by the recently departed Dick Ayers.
Interesting they don't do the choky credits on these.
You know, I think this is a little before that.
Really? 69?
This is a reprint book.
Oh.
So this is reprinting stuff from either the very early 60s or the late 50s.
Oh, okay. My fault.
Yeah.
Oh, 63. Okay.
Yeah, but then again, sometimes you'd get that and sometimes you wouldn't. But you know, in the main Marvel books. But I think they mainly stuck to doing that with the superhero books.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Probably. We got this great. It's not the entire page, but it's a
splash panel.
It's I guess splash just means larger than normal, right?
Well, yes, but that's not really the. You know, a lead or a story will tend to open with a splash panel, which generally will be either the whole page or just like 2/3 of that page, like this, and then we have a couple smaller panels at the bottom. And then sometimes we'll get a splash at a dramatic reveal in the middle of a story.
This is the beginning. The splash panel is the beginning of the story. I kind of like that. I don't want to see most splash panels has the
like the main
the climax.
Yeah.
And no, let me get there in the story.
Right.
I don't. I've already bought. Well, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes a splash panel is kind of like it's almost like a second cover.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's this is something like this is gonna happen in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the splash panel is kind of a lie, just like the covers.
Right.
But I don't know. It's another drawing in point. It's kind of like seeing the opening shot of a movie. You've seen the cover is the trailer, and this is like the opening shot to like wow. And if they open with a flashback and then go back to where open with a scene like it's in the future and the story starts to be a flashback.
I prefer linear.
I get it.
And especially with these. So it's kind of cool. He starts off
Rawhide Kid.
Rawhide Kid. It just won the shooting contest.
Yay!
Get some money. It gives a lot to this poor widow.
So we know he's a hero.
Yeah. He's an okay. We have so many outlaws here.
Yeah.
This is a multi-character.
It's a reprint book, the Mighty Marvel Western. We're going to have stories from Rawhide Kid, Kid Colt Outlaw, and the Two Gun Kid.
Did they ever explain why he's an outlaw?
Kid Colt?
Or any of them?
I think, not Kid Colt or not Rawhide
For a crime
or Two Gun, but Kid Colt, it was like he was accused of a murder he didn't commit or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably all of them were. So. Okay, but someone recognizes, hey, that's Rawhide Kid. Because it's luckily for the law, he dressed so distinctively.
Right.
At least he's not who's Kid Colt. Man.
Kid Colt's outlaw's costume isn't, or his outfit is not as cool. Let me just put it that way. But Rawhide Kid's outfit looks really cool.
Okay. Rawhide Kid sees the policy coming after him. He goes out and he hits the desert. The policy says, well, he's going to die now. So he goes out there, gives his last water to his horse. Then he sees some water. Oh, it's only sand. It was a mirage.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, Gorby.
Yeah.
Okay. He comes by, drinks water in front of him, and then laughs at him and takes his horse. What a crappy thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, jeez.
So, he wakes up, and this girl's here, and Gorby is his brother, and she's kind of ticked off at Gorby for being so mean.
Mm-hmm.
Gorby comes in with a couple of his pals.
And Rawhide Kid proceeds to get ready to blow him away.
Yeah.
Because you left me for dead.
Yep. They run away. So, Rawhide Kid says, okay, let bygones be bygones. But Gorby...
he doesn't trust him. He takes off in the desert.
Yeah.
And then he gets lost and dies.
Well, no.
No?
He gets lost in the desert, loses his horse, and then becomes the last premier of the Soviet Union. Isn't that great?
Oh, man. So weak. Such a weak joke. But yeah, he does.
Gorbies do you know?
Gorb, right, Gorbachev. But
yeah.
there was a Russian guy in my high school that got nicknamed Gorb.
Oh, really?
Like Gorbachev. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and the kid.
Oh, this is a great way to say this. In time, you will forget about your brother's death. For a man such as Luke leaves nothing behind to remember, nothing except sorrow and the emptiness of a wasted life.
Wow.
Man, those cowboys are awful philosophical.
I know it's Will Rogers influenced the whole like Western hero thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, maybe that's the way it was.
I don't know.
Iconic and. Well, there were Western novels before Will Rogers. I think there's.
But I mean, he's the cowboy philosopher. I mean,
right. Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
but yeah. So the next story we've got is, and this is like a 3-parter in this issue. It's takes up a big chunk of the issue, which is cool. It's called The Saga of Sam Hawk, Manhunter, and it's reprinted from Kid Colt, Outlaw, number 111, written by Stan Lee, with art penciled and inked by Jack Keller, king of the Hot Rod comics. Which is, tallest building in Kansas kind of scenario, but
yeah.
You mentioned it when we talked about that Hot Rod comic from Charlton.
Yeah.
Jack Keller was all over that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was all over Kid Colt.
Yeah.
Those were his 2 claims to fame. So.
Okay. Oh, poor guy.
But I like Kid Colt. I like reading Kid Colt.
It's not bad. This is a good one too.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Kid Colt finds out that this guy, Sam Hawk, the Manhunter, is after him, and Sam Hawk always gets his man. He never stops.
And he's a lawman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's after Kid Colt, and
there's a gunfight. So Kid Colt comes and helps out this guy, and who does he turn out to be? Sam Hawk.
Right.
Oh, so he tries to draw on him and he gets shot by Sam Hawk, but he's not. He's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So he recovers. Sam Hawk takes him, and
he's going to take him into wherever.
Yeah, they're gonna. I guess
the county seat.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do.
But then, as they're traveling, Kid Colt manages to escape.
Right. He goes off a cliff. Sam Hawk thinks he's dead, but Kid Colt grabs onto a branch and saves himself.
Yeah.
And Sam Hawk sees him and is kind of ticked off. He tries to shoot at him, but it's too far up.
Right. So Sam Hawk is out looking for Kid Colt.
And he sees Kid Colt at the bar, and he pulls a gun on him, and the guy turns around. It's not Kid Colt. Apparently, there's somebody else who wears a Palomino vest. I guess that's what that is.
I guess, yeah. It's like it looks like the black and white splotchy cow skin, and that's his vest with a red shirt.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
very
maybe
distinct.
Maybe it's Holstein. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know much about cattle.
Yeah. Well, so he's kind of ticked off that he got the wrong guy.
Yeah. So, but Kid Colt isn't far away.
No, he's actually in the town.
Yeah, and some slippery sidewinder tries to.
Crawl Bates.
Yeah.
All right. So Crawl Bates tells Kid Colt about it, and Kid Colt hates Crawl Bates. So, and gets him brush off. Crawl Bates goes to Sam Hawk and tells him that Kid Colt's in town. So they have a kind of a fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happens is Kid Colt puts a fake Kid Colt on top of the horse and sends a horse on. Sam Hawk sees the horse running away, so he chases after him. The posse comes, and Kid Colt pulls a gun on him and holds him at bay.
Yeah.
So Crawdad, or whatever his name is, the Comanches hears about the Comanches are to the south of him, so he's going to go north. Unfortunately, Comanches go where they want to, and they capture him.
Right.
And they capture Sam Hawk.
That's right. Now, Kid Colt goes to rescue them both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like, look, he may be after me, but he knows that Sam Hawk is a decent man.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
Yeah. And indeed, and Kid Colt is about exhausted keeping him off him.
Yeah.
Because he's got the guns, which was a stupid thing. You got these guys at gunpoint, but you got to do something. So you just can't just stay there forever. So Crawl begs the Comanches to let him go, and the Comanches, which I think are pretty cool. They have they're brave. They're doing bad things, but they're not evil.
Right.
And
the Comanche, in a lot of movies, they were like the bad Indians.
Well, they're pretty mean sometimes. I would not want to be caught in 1850 by the Comanches.
Well, it's like Comanches and Apaches tend to be the villain Indians, and then like the Sioux tend to be the sympathetic ones,
Yeah, although the Sioux gave us the worst defeat. So,
Yeah.
But, alright, so he's begging the Indian chief, and one of the Indians, and Native Americans, excuse me. I've been reading these things.
It's
lucky I
okay.
didn't say Indian.
We can say, I think in this context, it's okay to say Indian.
Okay, so, but
We're not being racist. We're just retelling the story.
So the Comanche says,
Okay.
other paleface, a man, talking about Sam Hawk, but you, a squaw.
Because this guy's trying to weasel his way out of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or whatever his name is, Grimes.
Chief
or whatever.
Thundercloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here comes another paleface, and that's Kid Colt.
Mm-hmm.
So he's they're about to go off. They're just going to kill their prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
But Kid Colt says, "I'll fight you to set them free." So he fights them. Good fight. The chief is really cool and says, "You won, and it's a good fight." And so he says, "Well, do you want me to keep the Sam Hawk who's chasing you?" And Kid Colt says, "No."
Yeah, you gotta let him go.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And Sam Hawk is kind of touched. He's like, "I'll have to take you in, but this high wind's going. It might take me up to an hour to get my pipe lit up."
Yeah. And there's no law that says I can't light my pipe before you leave, before I catch you. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I do like Sam Hawk. I like this adversary, noble adversary. It's
right. He's not a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the good guys. And
Yeah.
the fact is, he says he's not going to he's going to give Kid Colt a chance because this guy just saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
So, right on.
Yeah. But he's not going to bend the law either. Crawdad, I like that name better.
Okay.
He pulls a gun on Kid Colt. No, and Sam Hawk shoots him. Yay!
Yeah.
All right, so here comes part 3. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
1 month later, Tumbleweed, Texas. I wonder if there is a Tumbleweed, Texas.
I don't know. What was part 2 called? I don't think we mentioned it.
Oh, Crawdad. No.
Oh,
Showdown with Sam Hawk.
that's right. Okay, so this one is mission accomplished. So okay.
Mhm. So, very cleverly, Kid Colt takes off his vest, so no one knows who he is.
He's
Well,
riding into town. Yeah.
and he finds out that Sam Hawk is sick, and he needs his. I actually already knows
Yeah.
that Sam Hawk is sick, so and we find out that he has the antidote for Sam Hawk's condition. So he, someone recognizes him. He runs through. He runs to town where all these posse and lawmen are at.
Now
And
they think that Kid Colt is there he's going to kill Sam Hawk,
Right.
but really the guy that was bringing the serum originally was like ambushed by Indians or something, or bushwhacked and left for dead. Navajos.
Oh, they're kind of friendly.
Yeah, me too. But anyway, so Kid Colt came upon this guy, and as he was dying, and took the serum and was like, "I'm gonna go save Sam Hawk," which is cool.
Yeah, and he gets shot by the doctor, and he doesn't kill the guy. He shoots him, but he saves Sam Hawk's life, and the doctor says, "No, he's a good guy." So.
Yeah, Kid Colt. Yeah.
And look, nice story. Nice story. We have read that one.
That last part,
Yes.
yes, we have. Here's the thing. This story is this three-parter. I think it recycles the plots of several previous Kid Colt stories and weaves them together.
Interesting.
Because there's a Kid Colt story we'll read coming up that is the original of, and it's a much shorter version of basically that story with Sam Hawk getting caught by the Indians. And I was like, wait, what? But the names of like the wormy, snivelly guy that was the informant, that guy's name was changed, and the scenario was different.
So is this? Did we just read the originals, or
We just read what came later, but what this was, the original was not as strong a story as this. So a win, but I think it was really lazy to recycle in that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's weird though.
Although they all do, and
But this was
only 5 stories.
This
right?
was really
In the
blatant
first-
though, I mean, but it's
That's a
interesting.
good story. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Sam Hawk's a good, strong character, and that's cool. All
Yeah,
right.
and Kid Colt is cool too. But the next story we've got, let's talk about this, is Trapped by Ringo's Raiders, and it's a reprint from Two Gun Kid, number 66, written by Stan Lee, with art by Dick Ayers. Now, the Two Gun Kid is a different kind of Western hero. He's not quite an outlaw. He's kind of Lone Ranger-y. He has a secret identity.
He's kind of Batman-y.
Yeah. He's got a secret identity he's a lawyer in town. I think, what is his name? Matt something.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of a strong name too. What in the world?
Not Matt Hawk, but
yeah. Oh,
but anyway, and he's got a girlfriend and like a best friend. He has like a supporting cast, something that.
I think it is Matt Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Matt Hawk. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I didn't mean to shout.
No, it's fine.
But I think that can't be right because it's Sam Hawk. So
Right. Okay.
so,
And I
that's
was
his
thinking,
brother. I don't
no,
know.
but this is interesting because Kid Colt and Rawhide Kid, they don't really have that supporting cast. This guy's got a secret identity and friends and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on with Two Gun Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I said who? Oh, Dick Ayers did the art. Yeah.
Yeah. Ringo is his main character, John Wayne's character in Stagecoach, which is a great film. It's been ripped off about 100 times, but
Right. I never saw the original Stagecoach. I saw the Stagecoach with Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson
I'm sure it's
and
fun.
Waylon Jennings.
The original is pretty cool. I think it's the first time they used Monument Valley in a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John Ford. Anything directed by John Ford is worth watching.
Yeah.
All right, so Two Gun Kid. I have tried to fire pistols two gun, and it's really, you really can't do it. You can't really aim them very well. It's just Hollywood crap.
Well, but that's what makes these Western heroes seem so superhuman,
Mm,
you know? So, anyway, and cool.
yeah.
Like, I don't really like guns, but I like reading these stories, so.
So, Ringo Kid doesn't like doors, so he sends his horse to a window and breaks up a bank robbery.
The two-gun kid.
Yeah, two gun.
You said the Ringo Kid.
Oh, well,
Who is
yeah.
The Ringo Kid is yet another Marvel Western character that we'll see in the near
Ringo
future.
Kid was the name of John Wayne's character.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Ringo is a bad guy.
Yeah.
He takes a hostage, and I guess Two Gun Kid gives him his horse, and the horse knocks him off, and then Two Gun beats the crap out of him.
There's a great panel of him just punching the guy. It's great.
Yeah, it is well drawn.
Yeah.
Not a bad outfit. Very kid cultish though, except it's reddish or orange with black.
Yeah. It's somewhere between Kid Colt and Zorro
Mm-hmm.
as his costume.
Okay. Ringo was an army officer, went bad.
Oh.
So he's really brilliant, I guess. He's a good tactician. He likes to get a bunch of desperados who are good at their work.
Mm-hmm.
So, Matt Hawk, Two Gun Kid changes into Matt Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been like Matt Canary or something, or Matt Pansy, or the thing is, Matt Hawk sounds too masculine. So
Right.
Two Gun Kid ought to be named Matt Hawk. It's
Right, I get it.
you want your alter ego to be exact opposite, so no one.
Right. That's a good point. Very good.
Yeah. So who do we have here? We have Nancy and Boom Boom. Boom Boom is this big guy with a really big stovepipe hat.
Yeah.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, and he's Matt Hawk's best friend and right-hand man.
Mm-hmm.
And the chick is his girlfriend or secretary or both.
Yeah.
She's kind of a Karen Page
Right.
to his character.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I read a Daredevil story where a case that the Two Gun Kid was working on in the Old West gets solved by Daredevil like 100 years later.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I really
wonder
enjoyed that issue. That was fun.
Okay. So Ringo is in prison. He's ticked off. He's taken over. He's the big guy in the prison. So he decides to break out, and he has this really cool scheme of sending people off and creating disturbances, and it works well.
Yeah.
And so he gets these guys together. I'll set you free if you come to Tombstone.
Yeah.
And help me get revenge. So he's on his way, and he comes in. Two Gun remains as Matt, and he doesn't pretend. I don't know. I'm not sure.
He doesn't ride out as the Two Gun Kid.
Yeah.
He changes later.
Yeah. So they want the Two Gun Kid, so they blockade the town. They're going to starve everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt
Wasn't that the plot of one of the, isn't that A Fistful of Dollars or something like that? Am I
I
wrong?
don't think so.
Okay, we'll move
Not
on.
blockading. No, I don't.
I've seen that plot line used, but anyway.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So he is. So Matt's says, "Well, why don't I talk to Two Gun to see what he can do?"
So he's going to go talk to himself.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he runs out. Oh, he goes to meet Ringo.
Yeah.
And Ringo puts him into a cave, so he changes his outfit. I don't know why, but I guess so. That's his power. I don't know. It's like putting the uniform on makes you stronger.
Well, here's the thing. If he just, put the mask on, they're like, hey, weren't you just wearing that guy's clothes?
Mm-hmm.
But if he leaves and then goes around a rock and comes around a different way, then it looks like he, it maintains the ruse. So,
Yeah.
I get it.
But do they leave him with his guns?
I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Or no, I think they may have.
Okay, so
Well,
anyway.
he comes out and he beats these guys up, and they start. And Ringo's losing his guys because they're panicking.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes and beats the crap out of Ringo.
Yeah. Now, and this is not Johnny Ringo, who the real Western figure, but there's Ringo.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, he does. Two Gun doesn't have any guns. How ironic!
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we get this thing where he's trying to get Ringo to shoot at everything. He throws a shadow up. He throws a rock.
Yeah, trying to get him to use up his ammo so they can just duke it out with their fists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good plan. It works.
Yeah, good fight.
Ringo almost beats him up, too.
Mm-hmm. And he's about to hit him with a big boulder, and he loses his balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not supposed to kill anybody, so he kills himself.
Yeah. Then Boom Boom shows up.
Yeah. Hey, Boom. I like Boom Boom. He's great. I'd rather see him more than Matt. So.
Yeah, and I like his hat. The hat really sells it.
Yeah, it does.
He just seems like a real character.
Yeah, you know he's very similar to Dum Dum
Dugan. A little bit.
So Boom Boom had got the cavalry, and they met the crooks, and he beats the crap out of them. So pretty cool.
Right on. So yeah, that's that story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one more story in this episode or this issue, and this episode. It's a Shootout with Rock Rorick from Rawhide Kid number 31, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, inked by Dick Ayers. Kirby and Ayers, Ayers was inked a lot of Jack Kirby stuff in the 50s and 60s, and I primarily think of them as his inker on a lot of monster stuff, but they did a lot of westerns together too.
Interesting. Okay. Rock Warwick is a bad guy, and he's going around forcing people to sell them their land because he's not letting them have water.
Right.
And it's and he starts beating up on them. And then, the Rawhide Kid gets up and says, "Hey, I'm getting tired of this crap." and he beats him up. Good fight. And that's it. Oh yeah, it's Kirby.
Of course.
It's really well done.
Love Jack Kirby.
Yeah, man. So he said, "Well, I'm done here." And he beats him up and says, "Hope you learned your lesson. I'm getting out of here."
Mm-hmm.
So the problem still remains. So Rawhide Kid goes and finds these people and says, "Oh, our farm is dying because we don't have any water because Rock Warwick has only water hole, and he's fenced it off." So he comes back, and Rock Warwick is held up in this big hacienda, and there's walls, and he uses a lariat and lassos on the top of it, jumps up, beats the crap out of him, shoots everybody.
This is the Rawhide Kid does this.
Rawhide Kid, yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's a cool fight between Rock Warwick and he actually has a weight that almost falls down him. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. He drops his thing and almost hits Rawhide Kid.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty cool battle.
And then, he beats him up, and he makes him give the people's land back, right?
Yeah, and he takes his land. He gives it to the other people. So
yeah.
And Rock Warwick begs for it, but this guy's an outlaw. And he said, "Mister, you ever use his words for the Rawhide Kid again, that'll be the last you ever hear. Savvy? Now make tracks and never come back."
Right on.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Kirby never disappoints.
No.
A bad Kirby is better than 90% of everything else.
Yeah.
Kirby's Law.
Yeah, like Sturgeon's Law.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a meeting of the minds there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gotta stop that.
I know, right?
Scary.
So that's that for this episode. Anything you want to add or throw in there?
Just remember, even though he bears an outlaw name, He has a hero's heart.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Comic Reflections, I just want to remind you, that is a member of the Rhymes with Geek podcast network. Find our show and lots of other cool stuff at rhymeswithgeek.com.